What's going on, everybody? So welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do a crazy transformation. So I've already picked his hair out, but I wanted to comb the sides and just kind of get them picked out as well. He has some very difficult hair. It's real tight, real curly, kind of stuck to the head, but I wanted to pick that out so we could just shape it. He's actually going to do a curl sponge on the top, so we don't have to make it perfect, but I do want to shape it up nicely, knocking off all the excess hair that's just sticking out. And yeah, we're going to do that with the JRL Onyx Clipper. All right, now that we have this thing looking pretty smooth, we're going to go ahead and jump into this cut using the Black Label Andis Masters. I took the fade blade off and put the OG master blade on. And I want to give a shout out to Fort Worth Barber Supply for always hooking me up with all the supplies that I need and the tools that I need to get the job done. So I like these things so much that I went ahead and got two of them. One has the master blade on it and the other one has the fat master blade. And let me tell you what, these things are still super quiet after a month of use. So hopefully they fix the sound problem, but let's go ahead and jump into this haircut. So right now, as you can see, I'm doing a fade down technique, but I actually have the clipper pointing down. So I started off with a 1.5 guard in the parietal ridge area, just knocking down that bulk, and then I drop a little bit lower with that number 1, doing the same motion, and then I drop down a little bit lower with the 0 guard, doing the same thing. So right now I have that 0 guard on there. I don't know if it's open or closed at the moment. I do what I feel is best in the moment, but then I'll take this guard off and we'll go ahead and just go an open blade, kind of a raking technique, same technique I'm using right now, just to smooth that hair out to prep it for a blend. But as you can see, it already blends pretty well. Obviously, there's a lot of dark spots and stuff, but we have that transition from longer hair to shorter hair already taking place. Once again, his hair is very challenging to cut. It's very tight to the scalp, so you can already see that kind of wave pattern in there, and we're gonna have to work with that. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and put this picture in a frame, and what I mean by that is let's go ahead and get this front lineup on there. It does something to the eye that helps you to see the blend better when it has a lineup on it, so you can work on some details while you're blending. Also, if you're trying to keep the C cup, then you'll know where to put that bottom guideline, because you'll know exactly where to hit that C cup at and where to drop the back at. So now that we have the first guideline established as far as the bald line and balded out the bottom, now we're going to go ahead and create that second guideline, and we're doing that with the clipper blade all the way open. Once we establish that second guideline, we'll just come in and close the clipper halfway, and then we'll close it all the way. Sometimes I'll just use the notch down technique where I'll, close it halfway, and then I'll close it one more, and then I'll close it all the way bald. But we're gonna go ahead and work on that, making sure that we hit it at different angles to try to lift up the hair that's going in different directions or that's stuck to the head. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put the number 1 guard on all the way open, and we'll start fading into that darker area. And as you can see, I'll start using the corners of the blade just to try to lift that hair and knock out some of those dark spots that we have. And then I close it and I'll work on that line, and then I'd go ahead and just throw on my 0 guard, and I begin to work at that line to try to tie those 2 panels together. As you can see, I'm really hitting that line, trying to blend those together. But then as I look up and I see those dark areas, I'll start working on those dark areas. There again, trying to see the pattern of the hair, what direction it's going, and then I'll go up against it in that direction to lift the hair so that we can try to scoop it up and get underneath it. And like I always say, I'm not trying to get it perfect at the moment. We're just trying to get a good blend so that way we can come back at the end and do some more detail work. Right now, I took the guard off. Once again, I have the open blade, and I just really need to try to work on tying those panels together better. And then, as you can see, we still have a faint line at the bottom, so I'll close my blade slowly and start tapping at that line until I can get it to disappear. All right, so this technique that I'm using now is kind of laying the clipper at a side angle, so it's almost the side of the blade is just lightly tapping in those dark spots, almost like thinning shears. And now I went ahead and decided just to fade the very top of the beard, so we're not going to put a guard on there. We're just going to go ahead and use, just an open blade, and then we'll close it as needed, open it as needed, just to kind of tap at those hairs, but leave the beard nice and full, just with a little blend on top. Now we're going to line up that back of the beard, trying to keep it full as possible. So now before we do the lineup, I like to take a number 1 guard and I'll comb the hair down, and then I'll use that guard though and just kind of hit those hairs that are kind of longer and maybe poking out. I want to smooth those down so we can get a nicer looking lineup on it. As you can see, I'm not taking his line all the way up to where it's dark. I pulled the hair down so that we could create a lower lineup, and then I'll use the color enhancement to come in and get that filled in and looking darker. And as you can see, he had some light spots in his lineup area, so it's best just to go ahead, instead of taking it all the way up to try to knock out those light spots, let's just put some enhancement on it so that way he can keep his lineup looking pretty low. Now, as you can see, I put some hairspray over the color, and then I put hair fibers on top of that, simply because it covers up the color and it makes it look more natural. Once I line it up again, then I'll go ahead and put some more hairspray on there, blow dry it so it locks it into place. Now we're going to go ahead and take the Tomb 45 color pencil and go ahead and create a nice little ash line for my man. Once we have that drawn in, then we'll go ahead and just, lightly hit the beard. He didn't want to take much off, just knocking down the little stray hairs to give it, a clean shape. Now we got to hit him with that razor, get all that excess pencil off. but still give them that little thin ash line. Now we're going to go ahead and curl the top with the sponge, get it looking nice and neat. And now I like to go around with my curved shears and just kind of shape this thing, knocking off any little long hairs that don't look good on the end of that. So here's the before, guys, and then here's the after. I hope you guys like this transformation. If you did, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe.
Amazing. I mean, look at that. That's a blurred fade right there. Fresh.
I appreciate you, my brother.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Well, I'm glad he liked it. I hope you loved it. So until next time, God bless you guys. Peace. I'm out of here.